Oh, Sakina, she's the first sheep that I bought. I think the year was 2010, and she's the one. And then I had another goat. No, I had another sheep that I bought from Mysore. The name of that breed was Bannur. Yeah. And Sakina I bought from a shepherd, which was very. He was he was rearing his flock very near to my place, and then I'd gone there with my family, and this new member in my family really loved the sheep, and then he was insisting that I buy it, and then I ended up buying it, and she was like maybe I don't know, maybe 15 days old, and the shepherd was like, you don't buy it, it will not survive. And then I was like, no, I would want to buy that. And then she was with me at my home for like 2.5 months. I used to feed her, there's this local milk brand called Gokul, so I used to feed her every morning and evening, like around half liter in the morning and half liter in the evening. And like that, she was with me in my home for like 2.5 months, and after that, she started eating a bit of grass, and I came here and dropped her here, and since then she's and then after like 6-8 months I bought Bannur, and then I think Bannur and Sakina fell in love, and from there the family began, and I think we have had close to 8-9 babies from her, and it's like a flourishing family. She's like pretty extraordinary if you look at her. I've not removed her hair. I do want to, but then there are not a lot of people who are able to do that, and then the machine last time I inquired was close to 28K, so I should rather wait. Yeah. So this is Sakina, and she's the first sheep of my farm, and then after that I have had plenty, at the moment today I did a bit of stock taking, and I have around 126 male and female goats plus these 4 sheep. So I've got a flock size of 130 animals. Yeah. And so this is the first time I'm recording something like this. I've been doing this from the last 8 years. 2010 I began, and my farm is close to Mumbai, so it's basically between Mumbai and Pune on the Ghat. Yeah, so the weather is pleasant. I was watching before in the morning I drove from Mumbai, and I did look it up on Google about this place, and I saw that a very unfortunate news that it was lightning. There was a thunderstorm here like 2 days ago, and around 3 farmers have died. I think 2 of them are women, and and there's another guy, and so the mall is pretty wet, and so I think it's like maybe end of season, that is why this is happening, and we are waiting for the winters to begin. So this area is like pretty high on rains, so I end up calling this place as the Cherrapunji of Maharashtra, and there are a lot of rains here, and there are close to maybe a dozen dams, so it's surrounded by Pauna Dam, Uksan Dam, Bushi Dam, Andhra Dam, and a couple of more places. More dams. I'm not really. I've been there, but I don't remember the name now. And when I started this thing, so I had to stay here for like 2 years, and I was here like all the time, like 24/7. I did buy a flat close by, because so I used to stay there and then come here and spend time like close to 18-20 hours here. And yeah, and most of the goats that I've bought, I've brought here for rearing. I've brought from, I've bought them with my own hands. I've gone and roamed these villages, like really interior places. I've been, I've tried. When I talk about breed, I've tried Osmanabadi. I've tried Sojit, and I've tried Nagfani. I've tried Ajmeri. I've tried Alvari, and yeah. So people. So it's like like there are only three purposes of doing business. Goat farming business. Basically, okay, there might as well be fourth purpose, but the three main is like the mutton purpose, and the milk purpose, and the third is the sacrificing purpose. So sometime later when I create another video, I'll talk about these in detail. But so far, the business has been, the learning curve is very steep. I will not recommend anyone who wants quick returns and to start this thing, or if you feel that like your other ventures, if this can run on autopilot mode, you're absolutely wrong about that. So this is something that really needs your attention. It needs you like 24/7. It needs when you come to your farm, you look at the goat, you should be able to make it whether the goat is happy, not happy, whether it is sick or not sick. If it is unwell, then you have to look for the medication, and you can't rely on a lot of veterinary doctors these days. So yeah, you have to do a lot of research on your own. You have to consult a lot of doctors. You have to consult other goat farmers, shepherds sometimes, and you have to start recording what you do to your flock from time to time, like the deworming dates, the vaccination dates. And you have to try not to mix your flock with other goats, and you have to keep maintain a little bit of stringency, like who visits your farm when, and if they are another shepherds, maybe you can just politely ask them to, if they're coming directly from their flock, you can just politely ask them to come next time, or maybe if they want to meet you, you can go out of your farm and meet them and talk to them there. It is not like advisable to allow them inside, because you do not know what kind of disease his flock has. So it's not a good idea. So you have to so it's basically you're quarantining your animals from other flocks diseases. So it's not a good idea. Like say during Eid, a lot of our customers they go to the market first and they come to our farm. So we have to really take care, because when there are, I do not know, so there's this disease called PPR. So I still have not understood clearly why this disease happened, apart from the fact that when you bring together goats from a lot of places, the disease is bound to take place, bound to start. So in Devnar, in Devnar, or in Chakan Mandi, or in Shivaji Nagar Mandi, these diseases are prevalent, and customers who come from there, we have to be very careful. We have to be very polite and request them to please either change their clothes, or maybe at least you can make them wash their feet and their hands before they come. And it's actually not a good idea to let them in. And I do not know how do you go ahead and explain, because customers don't like this, but you have to figure this out. Yeah. And this is the place that I have. It's like so this is my warehouse, and beyond that there's 2 rooms, two large rooms for female goats. This is the staff quarters. I do stay here sometimes, when it's like late, or maybe if there's any urgency, so I come here and stay. And this is the main structure of the farm here, you see. So it's kind of large. It's like 4,500 square feet. So it's like 45 feet in width and 100 feet in length. And we did learn a lot of things, when we so before we so when I look back, I might and the learning that I have had, I don't think so. It's like maybe if I have to start something up of my own again, or if I have to create another structure, I will not go ahead and spend so much. And I've learned quite a bit of it. Maybe if you are thinking of starting a goat farm of your own, you can just go ahead, maybe comment down below and ask for a call back, or you can just get in touch with me. I might give you a little bit of idea of what you need to do. And so this is the boundary wall. There's a boundary there that is also pretty large. And this is my farm. Okay, so I've not yet taken the name of my farm. It's Calmshade Goat Farm. You can Google it. I have got my own website at calmshadegoatfarm.com. And I do not maintain it regularly, but I would, sometime, start something on the website that helps other farmers, when they think about this venture. I'm not very sure about it now, how and what will I do. Maybe I'll create an ebook, or start consulting people so as to enable them not to waste a lot of money and not to learn it the hard way. So there are a lot of people in my surrounding who have started goat farm, but they ended up they got exhausted doing it. Some got exhausted because of the effort that they have to take. Some got exhausted financially, and these farms cease to exist in a few years. So not a few years, like maybe 2 years, max. And so the learning that I have had, maybe I can impart that and make a lot of farmers not to commit the same mistake that I did. And so this is all the the goat waste that we collect here. People say that so it's basically very fertile, but unfortunately there's not a lot of market here, so I hardly sell it for anything. And where this is required, the transportation is expensive. So a lot of people from Konkan want this, but then if I transport it from here to Konkan, that costs a lot of money. So it doesn't work out. Yeah. So this is the boundary I was talking about. It's pretty large. And so this is the first one is the dhakka that we created. So that steel door you see. So this is where the truck comes and we unload the the feed, and then these other two sections are where the female goats are are residing, and we have got like a small place built up for the baby goats here. I hope this is enough. Maybe I'm not very certain. Okay. Cool. So if I get time, I'll create another video and talk about the three things that I have had mentioned earlier: the purpose of goat farming and how you can monetize it, and how you can earn from it. Let me know if you want to know anything else in the comments, and I'll try to talk about it. Thank you.